Hello, I'm Janet Davis. I'm an AARP volunteer and a member of the West Omaha Community Action Team. AARP is a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization that helps empower people to choose how they live as they age and has been working to promote the health and well-being of older Americans for more than 60 years. As a part of our work, AARP is committed to supporting those who have served this nation in the U.S. Armed Forces, including the more than 142,000 Nebraska veterans. I'm excited today to have my husband with me and for our program, who is one of those Nebraska veterans.
Yes, I'm Michael Davis, a retired educator and pastor and AARP volunteer. I served in the United States Navy 1968 to 72. I wish that all veterans would know what I have learned over the years about the benefits that are available. When I got out of the service after 4 years, I knew I was eligible for the GI Bill, but I didn't know about all the other benefits. I give thanks that I met a veteran that was a little older than I. I don't remember whether he was Korean War or World War II, but he got tired of me saying, "What'd you say? What'd you say?" And he says, "Preacher, why don't you go get your hearing checked out with the VA?" And I learned that I was eligible. And I can't say enough nice things about the VA health system and the benefits available in Iowa and, Western Iowa and Nebraska. And so more than ever, I believe that veterans today need access to trusted information about their health benefits as well as other benefits. AARP has developed a new online service to help veterans better understand the health care options available to them and their families. This important resource can be found on the web at aarp.org/Vets Health Navigator. And I think you'll see that on the screen from time to time during this presentation.
Today, we're pleased to be joined by someone who is also dedicated to helping veterans and military families. Cara Loken is the founder and CEO of Hearts for Healing Incorporated. Cara's quite a busy woman. We're glad she could take time out to be with us today. She serves as a Reserve Component Transition Assistance Advisor for the state of Nebraska. She herself is a military wife of 22 years and the mother of 2 sons, an Army veteran and a future National Guard enlistee. On top of that, she's an author, a retreat leader, and a grandma, plus the CEO of Hearts for Healing. Welcome, Cara. Please tell us about the work to help military members and their families through Hearts for Healing.
Thank you, Michael and Janet, for having me. I want to say thank you for your service. We appreciate everything that you've done to set the path for all of us. So, as you said, you told a little bit about myself. I am a little busy sometimes, which is great. Keeps me on my toes, always learning. So a little bit about Hearts for Healing. I'm also a volunteer for AARP. I've been a volunteer for a couple of years now. I love the program. I love their help that they give our veterans and our caregivers. Amazing program. Please go and check them out on their website at aarp.org/veterans. Great organization. Like I said, they've helped us in the past with some of our retreats. So a little bit about our organization. So we're a creative outlet. So for any of those who suffer from PTSD, anxiety, mental issues, physical concerns, and stress and other related concerns from your military service. It doesn't have to be combat related. It can just be from serving, because not everybody goes to, as we know, goes to a war zone or a combat zone. There's still those stresses of military service. So our focus is we focus on veterans, military members, caregivers, their families, and any others that need an outlet, such as art therapy, that we can help them focus on their creativity and their imagination and give them something else to think about besides those stressors that they're feeling. So it kind of, as we know, art kind of helps with that. It just puts you in that moment, and you're not really thinking about anything. You're just kind of concentrating on whatever we're teaching you. And what we do is we want you to continue these practices when you leave either a virtual session or an in-person session. We teach lots of different things, anything from acrylics to watercolors to pottery to creative writing. We also have, like I said, retreats. We do those annually, and AARP has been a godsend, helping us with some goodies for those. And we are starting our first annual women's veterans retreat this year. Not this year, sorry, next year in 2022. And that will be an annual retreat for them. And so, we have expanded. We do lots of different things. We work now along with the VA, the whole health system. And I do teach classes for their inpatient drug and alcohol and mental health patients, which is awesome. That's where we want to be. We've done lunch and learns for AARP in the past. We hope to do more lunch and learns with AARP in the future with their caregivers. It was such a great experience for that. But all in all, we love art. We love teaching that. We see the benefits that it has for, like I said, those stressors, like your anxiety, depression, PTSD is a big one, and it's shown real great results. So yeah, I don't know, Michael and Janet, if you have some questions, and then I can work some of my other stuff in there as well, if that's okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
It's exciting to meet you, and even more than that, hear about your work, because I was not familiar with your organization and that type of thing. So thank you for your service, past, present, and future.
Welcome.
AARP and I, as a volunteer in particular, have really had a tough time the last 22 months with COVID, and we as volunteers and as an organization just haven't been able to do things the way that we have been known to do them in the past. I just that you've made some changes and tweaked things. Would you share some of those ups and downs that you've had these last 22 months?
Absolutely. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a struggle. It was an adjustment. So we had in-person classes for so long. I mean, we teach kids art class, military kids. We were doing really good. And then all of a sudden COVID hit, and then we had to stop everything that was in person. But the great thing about doing that, there was a plus, is that we got to have more people join us all over the country and overseas, because we could do them virtually. So, which was amazing. So, teaching VA classes, it helped us. So not having them in person, we do Nebraska and Western Iowa. So we got to spread everything out so we can have more people come. I do teach caregivers. November is the month of caregivers, right? So we just did a caregivers painting on Tuesday, and we will do one in Ohio. I'm not traveling to Ohio, but we'll do virtual, which is great, because now I'll do classes for them after the first of the year every month. We'll do some care, self-care, that kind of stuff, which helps. So they're seeing people in person, which I love personally, but it also, with COVID, like I said, that's the one, probably the good thing about COVID is we could reach more people. And that was a blessing. So we got to meet more people. The retreat that we did that AARP was a part of, we had people from overseas attend that retreat for 2 days. So it was fantastic. They liked it because a lot of those people can't leave their homes because of of who they're taking care of, their loved one. And so we will always do a virtual retreat now for caregivers because it meant the world to them. And so that was something that I learned, and learning technology has been a learning experience for me, but I'm getting better at it. So like I said, I like that we can reach more people. So that's one positive that I feel that has come out of this. The last 22 months, it feels like it's been like a long time, right?
It does. It really does.
You and I were young when this hit.
Now we feel old, right?
You have found some of the same things then that AARP has had, because in the past we would have done this as a lunch and learn probably. And now we can tape this and anybody around the world can watch it and find out about the work you do and find out that you are doing virtual retreats as well as in-person activities. And so hopefully this will be a way to get word out to people about your program, about Hearts for Healing, because I can see very easily how it's very vital and the need is important. What kind of plans do you have for the future then, Cara?
Oh, we have quite a bit. We're always expanding, trying to get our outreach a little bit further. So we are restarting our classes back in 2022, hopefully in person. We do teach also. We do go to yellow ribbon reintegration programs. Those are for military members that come back from a deployment. And I teach those classes at a post event. And so we do our classes. It's such a well-received class that I'm always full. I actually have to turn people away. And I love doing that. So we'll continue to do those. We'll start getting more because we'll start doing those back in person now, which is fantastic. Like I said, we're adding the women's veterans retreat, and that will be in person this year in April. And then we always do our caregivers retreat. That depends on the time. Usually we'll start probably doing those June and July. And then let's see, I want to get back to doing lunch and learns eventually. Even if we do them virtually, that would be fantastic. Let's see, like I said, we'll do starting again, like I said, we'll start doing, so we do military classes and then we do the spouses together, but the kids, sometimes we do like more like harder stuff, so it's hard for the littler kids to follow along. So then we do military kids classes, and like I said, those are a big hit, and we can't wait to get those back started in person. And it gives them something to do, as like through our base in Lincoln, we're guard, but we deploy a lot more than we have before. So, and we deploy for 6 months, and giving those kids a little tool to help them with that transition that's hard. So we try to help the kids, because not all kids are resilient. We like to think so. Sometimes they just don't talk about it. So we do a military kids class and teach them how to talk to their parents, give them tools for their tool belt to help them during that deployment time. Because it's a family deployment. I mean, whether the members going overseas, as as a spouse, what it's like to take on that home while your husband's away, or your wife or your spouse is away. It's still stressful for us, and it's stressful for the kids too. They just don't know how to talk about it. They just, why is mom mad at me, or why is dad mad? So we just try to help them understand why that they're not mad. So we give them that open communication. So we did start opening those classes up too. So we're always building and learning. all the time. We're always expanding our reach. So yeah, we're excited about our future.
Do you have some more exciting things planned you want to share with us?
Right now I just have those retreats going on, and then some. I always do veteran art classes through the VA. And just so you know, as long as you're in the VA system, you can attend those classes. We send out supply. Everything is free. The only thing that might cost, it'd be like a retreat, and that's just kind of like a deposit to make sure you show up. But everything, we send out all the supplies for free. We send them to your home. And we do classes every month. And you just, like I said, you just have to be in the system. So if anybody's interested in that, they can contact us, and we can get you set up with that number to call. So that's awesome. So your husband can do those, and you can sit right along with him and do them too.
When was your organization given birth?
We started actually in 2016. And I started this, I'll tell you a little bit why I started it, just real quick. So my son, he is an Army veteran, and he deployed to Afghanistan for a year. At one time, that was the time my husband was in Iraq, and then my son was in Afghanistan. So that was kind of a tough time, but they both made it home safe. My son, he was in the 82nd Airborne, so he saw so did my husband. They both saw some pretty bad stuff. And my son came home. He just wasn't the same. And so just watching him, he's always mad, always angry. And he, that they don't think there's anything wrong with them. But as a spouse, right, we see it differently. So he came home, took a lot of stuff on, which he should have just probably eased himself into being back, as a civilian. And he really struggled. He really, really struggled. So watching him as a mom, that was hard. You can't fix them, right? You always want to fix them. So I just kind of watched him, and he had a daughter that was coming, and she was born before Christmas, and he hand sewed stockings, Christmas stockings, for all of them. Watching him do that, he wasn't angry. He wasn't anything. He was just sewing. And then he built a toy box, painted it. He was fine. He wasn't necessarily fine. He just didn't have any anger. Wasn't frustrated. He was just in the moment of doing stuff. So, and my husband and I are artists my husband's a blacksmith. Him and his dad had a shop years ago. So he's an artist too. And so am I. So just watching that and seeing how art, working with your hands, help ease those symptoms and those stressors was why we got started. And we just kept going and adding. And we started off with one gentleman in class, for about 2 years. And and now we're always full. We have, like I said, it's endless virtually. In person, we'd have 30 some people in class. It is it's people are like, oh, I don't know how to do art. Well, we teach you. That's why you're there. We're just teaching you something that you're doing with your hands and your mind, and it's something that's easy, right? And just doing, and they love it. We have had so much after, they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. They don't realize it because they have that attitude like, I can't do that, right? It's like, well, no, we're going to show you. And we want them to continue after class. So like I said, we don't charge to do classes. We take care of all of that. The only thing we charge for would be like a small fee for the retreats. And when I mean small, I mean like $30. And that's just kind of to save your spot. And then that we use that back into their box or whatever they're going to get. But the community like AARP, they're so helpful, and they have a great care giver book that they've given us for that. So I'm shamelessly plugging that too, because that is an awesome book. They have like a workbook as well. They are so big into helping, veterans and caregivers that it's amazing. And they're my go-to every time I have something.
Good.
Yeah.
That's fine. Excuse my husband. The doorbell rang.
I'm hoping
I don't think it'll take but a minute, but I think he has to sign for a package.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's okay. As long as it's a good one. Oh, goodness sakes.
The next thing that popped into my mind as you were talking about this, what type of art are people creating?
Well, they'll do anything from we just painted watercolor. We just did watercolors. We painted pumpkins. And not real pumpkins. We painted pumpkins on the paper, and then we did a winter scene. So we gave them that's what we gave them something for the fall. Thanksgiving. We try not to make it like Christmas or a holiday. So we try to so we did a winter scene. We'll do that again, and then we're doing believe it or not, we're doing a seahorse for veterans classes because they love that aquatic stuff. So we're doing a seahorse.
Okay.
And that's a watercolor. So we did watercolors this month. Last month we did acrylic painting. We'll start doing once we get back into face to face, we'll start doing pottery and that kind of stuff. It's really hard to ship that stuff and get their stuff, do all the process and then get it back to them. So that we'll just do in person. We'll do probably more of that with the retreats and in-person classes. But we do, like I said, I'm not good at drawing. I do. Oh, and then what I do have, I'll tell you this. All of my artists are veterans, military spouses. They have to have some affiliation with the military. And there's some talented military people out there. And it's amazing. Their talent. And I love, and they love to teach a class because it gives them something to do. It helps them give back. Then that's what they like. Right. Yep. Right. That's what we focus on. Our focus will help anybody, but our main focus is the military veterans currently serving their families. Yep.
You have firsthand experience with veterans.
Yes.
And so of course that's who you want to help.
Yes, absolutely. And that's my job too. I do help get the veterans to the VA and help them with anything that they've missed when they've gotten out. I deal with a lot of veterans currently serving. And I love my job. I love to be able to help all of you guys. And then I work with our community too. So, if anybody needs, AARP, here, let's send them to you, and help them. I mean, there's plenty of programs that are phenomenal that maybe you guys might not know about. Like you were saying, when you're, yeah, the VA, go to the VA, get your hearing checked, get your hearing aids, right? Yeah, that's me helping you too. Like, yes, that's what you need to do. You go get your hearing checked so you can get those hearing aids. You've deserved them and you've earned them. Yeah, absolutely.
Our son-in-law is a Navy veteran. He was in the United States Navy band.
Oh, nice.
And when he was discharged, part of his discharge instructions was to get registered at in the county, which I heard that lecture, but that was about as far as it went. But was told to check into VA Health, and in his case, he has hearing aids also, primarily because of playing in the band. Past, present, and future.
Yeah, because they don't have hearing, or they don't have earplugs. I don't think they were wearing. They were having them wear those when they were in, so it's causing a lot of hearing.
While he was in, at the time he was in, he joined in like 2003, and so they were issued earplugs then, but he had played a trumpet since he was a young kid, and over the years, and they could show where his hearing did get worse as he was in the Navy. So yeah, he has hearing aids too.
He had played in the Nebraska Army Reserve
Oh,
baby also before
oh,
that.
really?
I'm still
Oh, well,
with some of those men and women once in a while. But
if he
anyway,
has,
I got a couple questions. One
okay.
is, where in the world can somebody go to find out about your calendar and all of the many activities that you've got going? Because I know this is all new to me. And tell us, where can the general public find more information and get on your mailing list?
Well, you can always call me. And I'll give my number at the end. You're more than welcome to call me. We have Facebook. I'm not really, I just got a social media person that's going to start helping. We have a Facebook page, and then we have a website. It's www.heartsforhealingmidwest.com. My number, always available to call to talk about classes, whether it's through us personally or the VA. But my number is 402-613-2817. And we have some of the stuff scheduled already. It's pre-scheduled to June, like the VA classes are. But like our upcoming classes for the military and spouses and the kids, that calendar, it's not ready yet, but we do those once a month. And that just depends on kind of my schedule. Sometimes I might plan it the month before. It just depends. I get real busy sometimes on the weekend teaching classes and stuff. So it'll depend, but we're going to go back to doing once a month for sure, all the way around.
Yeah. Good to hear.
You mentioned that you work primarily with Nebraska and Western Iowa. Janet and I have a niece that we're very proud of. She's been in the Air National Guard out of St. Joe for a number of years.
That base. That's my favorite base besides ours.
And in the past, when her son was quite young, has done deployments. She's now at the highest enlisted rank that she can make. And I imagine some of the younger people will get sent if they're deployed again. But, you just don't know what the future might be when you put on that uniform. Would someone like that works with an outstate guard unit be in your loop?
Absolutely. What we would do is, St. Joe's pretty close. He
lives and teaches in Weeping Water.
Yeah.
Oh, well, even better. So when I've been to St. Joe several times helping with events for my job, my past job, and that is one of the best bases I have ever been to. They care so much for their military people and their families. It's just, that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite bases. And I'm not just saying that. I love, anybody can vouch, I love that base. If they want to do something at their base with their kids or anything, as long as they have enough people, I will drive there. I mean, if it's within driving distance, a couple hours, I don't mind. And if all else fails, we can do it virtually. And I can ship the supplies to them, and they can have it in person. We would just set it up. So I would just be the instructor, which happens now, where I'll be on a TV and everybody's watching if they're there. And then they'll just walk through it. And it's just like being in person, but I'm just not standing there. And I don't mind if any state, any base that wants this, I absolutely just contact me and we'll work something out. I will not turn anybody away. We'll figure it out.
Wow. That's great to hear. And yes, from talking with my niece, that is a very supportive group of people down there. That's part of the reason, I'm pretty sure, why she has stayed in, because she joined while she was in college and in the late 90s, and joined to pay for her college tuition. She didn't choose the cheapest college to go to. And
it happens sometimes, right?
Yeah, it does. But they have been so supportive of her, and she's been, like, a couple times she thought she was going to be deployed, and then orders would change, but she was deployed a couple of years ago for several months. I don't remember exactly how long it was.
I think it was 6.
But anyway, it her son's a pretty resilient kid, and he had a really good support system. But but I know there's times when you have questions, and so it's good to know that you can work with other people, whoever would want to contact you to set up some sort of a class.
Yep, so. We're doing Ohio, so
okay.
No problem, right?
Missouri would be nothing then.
And I would love to go to St. Joe. I would absolutely love that. Yeah, I'd love to go see everybody back there. I haven't been there for over that 22 months, of course. But yeah.
Her first name is Dawn, and
okay.
And she got invited, I guess, or encouraged by her aunt, who was and still is. Maybe she's retired now. I don't know.
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet, but she was a member of that Guard unit. And,
awesome.
And has encouraged her to stick at it for more than one reason.
I hope so.
Yes.
So one last question, then I'll let Janet ask another one if she's got one on her list. But I'm in awe of how AARP has helped you already I, as a member, have been working with you and didn't even know it through the people in the distance. But what can we as individuals do to support in any way, financially or as a man of faith? I certainly will remember you and all the veterans in prayer, but what are some things we can do?
Of course, yeah, we always can use monetary donations. We're pretty small, and we would just want you to come to classes. That's our biggest thing, is to get you guys to come to class, no matter what. And bring that's the thing, is getting you. Once you guys are there, you have the best time. It's all a matter of making time. And everybody has a busy schedule. We try to make it work for everybody. We try to be mindful of everybody's schedule and their commitments, on the outside. Sometimes I have a lot of commitments with, between working and teaching and everything that we do. And so, I love it when we put boxes together for example, we put boxes together for our retreat last year. It was virtually. We did it for 2 days. I came to Robin in Lincoln. We have a really good working relationship. And I'm like, this is what's going on. I know you guys work with caregivers. You have anything you guys want to stick in their boxes? And she's like, oh my gosh, yes. There's so much we can put
Went and cleaned out the cupboard, I'm sure.
I'm like, and then I was looking, and I was looking for caregiver types of books. And I was actually on Amazon, and the one from AARP popped up. So I contacted Robin. I'm like, what do I need to do to get these? Just what do I need to do? And you guys sent me 40. That's how many people I had signed up. They sent me 40 books. You guys have a workbook that you guys use also. So we got some of those, and then we got some swag to put in the boxes. So which is great. Everybody, I love pens, like writing pens. I like take them from everywhere I go. And so you guys gave us pens, and then those stress balls. I think they were hearts. What else? Some carabiners. I mean, you guys gave us a bunch of stuff to stick in those boxes, and that was awesome, because that's what they love to get that stuff. Plus, they can look and they can resource that book, and look through there, which is great. So every time I have a brainstorm, which I have those a lot, anything that I need from AARP, I just call, and you guys are so good about giving us stuff, whatever we need, or I can't wait to do another lunch and learn. That was my first lunch and learn, was to do an art class with the caregivers. That was probably in 2017, I think. So it's been a little bit. And I would love to do another one because that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that.
Believe me, there are plenty of AARP members and volunteers who are anxious to get back to the in-person stuff. We've been so blessed by the virtual things, and we've been able to do some things virtually that we probably wouldn't have done in person. And we've reached some people. We know we've reached people we wouldn't have otherwise. We've been able to keep volunteers involved from all over the state, rather than just have them involved in their locality of whatever that local unit is doing. So we've done our best to take advantage of it, just like you have, Cara.
Yep.
And I get upset with the technology every once in a while, but thank God for technology through this pandemic.
Yes, you and me both. And yes, grateful for that. And grateful that we have it. I mean, if not, we would just be in our homes, and it might be, it might make us more miserable, just not being able to see people. And we know how that is. Some people thrive on that. Some people don't. But it's always good to, to see other people and just to talk to them, and you get to see your families. I mean, that's a blessing that you probably haven't been able to for now, probably a little more, but not before. I mean, nobody was seeing anybody. You were kind of staying at home by yourselves, and everybody was working from home. And the only time you went anywhere was to go to the grocery store, right? And yeah. So I mean, and being able to just have some extra tools and extra things to do while you're at home, and with the technology and the postal service. It's made it a lot better for us. Honestly, it's opened up more things for us to do, more people to reach. It helps us because now we can reach further. Before we were just kind of in person, you kind of have to do it more locally. Now we can virtualize everything and have it for a lot of people, which is awesome. And we've been told, like I said, that caregivers are like, we just can't leave our loved one with somebody, or we can't leave them for a long period of time. Nobody can take care of them. And so that helped. That was one thing. And like I said, we reached people overseas. They participated.
Great. Anything else that you want to share with us today?
No, I just want to say thank you guys. Also, if you can be a volunteer with AARP, they do some really cool stuff. I've been grateful, to be able to do as much or as little as I needed to do with AARP as far as volunteering. I help with the military part, and work with I don't know, the in between, because I work out at the base in Lincoln. And I want you to call me so you can come to class. I want you, whether it's with the VA or if you do one of our classes, we just need people to come and participate and help them. That's, I think it's my way of giving back to all of you. I love our veterans. I love our military. I love our military families. I love our caregivers, and anything that I can do to help them or ease anything is my pleasure. And today, since it's Veterans Day, I want to thank everybody that served. Thanks for their service. It means a lot. It's paved the way for a lot of our younger, our younger service members. They have somebody that they looked up to, and they probably have joined because somebody in their family at some point was in the military. And Michael, again, thank you for your service. My brothers were in the Navy. And my husband's in the Air Guard, and my son was in the Army. So it's kind of nobody in the Marines yet. So far. So we're blessed. Yeah, like I said, I just kind of know the struggle, and you as well, Janet. You just know the struggles of being a military spouse, um and caring for our veterans and our military families. And I just appreciate you guys doing this, so we're able to get our word out. And like I said, just come to class, come learn something. Not drawing for me, but come learn something with painting. We do have a veteran that teaches our drawing classes. So I would never teach you guys how to draw stick figures. I think you guys got that under control, right?
Nothing wrong with stick figures.
No, there's not.
One last short commercial I want to give. We've mentioned previously some of the resources that are available through AARP online. As a veteran, if you are a veteran and you're listening to this program and would like to know more about your health benefits, I'd encourage you to go on the internet and check out AARP.org/Vets Health Navigator. It's a fairly new piece of information, and I took a look at it before we went on the air today, and it's pretty thorough. It's not 150 pages like what you might get if you wrote the federal government and asked for information, but it's very concise. Or if you are a family member of a veteran, go online and get that veteran registered. You may find out that he or she is eligible for a lot of benefits, cash and service-wise, that you are not aware of. It makes no difference when and where you served, if you served honorably. And here in Nebraska and Western Iowa, the veteran service people have some of the highest marks in the nation. And it's a privilege to live here and be served by them and people like you, Cara. Thank you for your work.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having me and taking time out of your day today to let me come and talk about us.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Cara, for joining us today and telling us more about Hearts for Healing Incorporated. Got to get that on the end. And I think Emily has put your address up on the screen a time or two. Again, that's heartsforhealing.org.
It's
heartsforhealingmidwest.com. Excuse me. I messed that up. And Michael just reminded everybody about the new Veterans Health Benefits Navigator. So check that out. And while you're at it, while you're online, check out heartsforhealingmidwest.com also. This has been a delight to speak to you. I am so excited about what you're doing. Thank you so very much. And as you said, I'm pretty sure AARP and Hearts for Healing will continue to be partners in helping the veterans in this area and across the country.
Yes, thank you. And I hope to see you guys in one of my classes.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful day. Thank you.
You
also tell those veterans in your life happy Veterans Day also. And thank them for their
well. You as
and
well.
all of you that are listening, thank you for your service, past, present, and future. Have a good day.